Welcome to Mrs. Shelton's art class. Today we are going to be working on color wheel lions. For the first part of our lesson, we're going to be doing the lion's face, the lion's mane, and the lion's body. The second part of the lesson that we'll do next art class will be dealing with color and our color wheel. So for today you're going to need a piece of paper and you're going to need a pencil and a black permanent marker. It can be a washable Crayola marker, it can be a Sharpie like mine, it can be just a black marker. So let's get started. Alright, so you can see that my paper has two circles on it. I went and found a small cup and a bowl in my house to trace my circles. If you're in my class today, you may have your circles already traced for you. If you don't have anything to trace, you can hand draw your circles. Our first circle is going to be for the face of our lion, and the outside circle is going to be part of the mane of our lion. So it doesn't matter if the outside circle or the face is in a perfect circle. So let's get started with our drawing. We're going to start with, I'm going to do my lion ears first, and I'm going to start with a half circle and another half circle. Notice I'm drawing on the little circle right now. Half circle, another half circle. They're big curved lines. And those are going to be my little ears for my lion. Now we're going to go in and we're going to start drawing in our lion face. And to do that, I'm going to start by doing curved line like this, kind of like a smiley face. And I'm going to, put one or two fingers over, and then I'm going to do second one. That's going to be for our lion eyes. Our lion is very peaceful today, so his eyes are closed like he's thinking. So now we're going to do his nose, and I'm going to start his nose up here, where I'm going to do a line right here. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to do another line right here. This one's going to be a little bit bigger than the one at the top. And then I'm going to connect this one to this one, just like that. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to do a diagonal line and a diagonal line. And that's going to be the nose for our lion. Let's add curved line, and let's do circle. It's like an oval. We're going to go, mine's kind of close, but that's okay. Yours can be close like mine too. There we go. Now I'm going to add some dots in here. Doot, 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 doot. Okay, now we're going to add in our body, and we're going to start over here by doing a curved line, and I'm going to go do, 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 big curved line. I'm going to go all the way down. Notice I'm doing my line almost to the bottom of my paper, but not quite. Okay. Then at the bottom here, I'm going to do a straight line from here to here. Here to here. Now we're going to do a curved line up like this and stop. And I'm going to go up, and it's going to look like my lion foot. Now let's do the rest. This time I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do down like this, straight line, stop, and I'm going to go straight line, and I'm going to do a little curved line, straight line, and then I'm going to go up, and I'm going to curve, and I'm going to come down, I'm going to do my other little foot here, curve, and straight, and up. That. Go up. And I'm going to make my little lion belly. Bring my lion belly in. Just like that. Now let's add a little tail. I don't have much space, but I can still put a little tail. I'm just going to come up and go and do a line all the way up here, and then I'm going to curve and do a line all the way down. And it's okay if my tail kind of goes off my finger because I kind of squished my line a little far over. That's okay. So he's hanging out there. Right, so now we're going to put in some texture lines. Texture lines are little short lines that we're going to start making to look like our lion has some fur. So you're going to do little tiny lines and dashes, just like what I'm doing, and add some fur to. Notice I'm not doing too many, I'm leaving space between my lines as I'm drawing. And I'm changing their direction. Notice on the top of his head, kind of doing lines going up and down. And on the side of his face, I did some lines going side to side. And I'm going to add some lines here. Excellent. Alright, so now we're dividing our mane up, and we're going to use a line to divide it up so that it has 6 sections. And how we're going to do this is we're going to set a piece of paper down right in the middle. You can use a ruler or a piece of paper. We're going to draw a line down the center from here to here, from face to the edge of the mane, and then we're going to make kind of a crisscross. So we're going to go this way and trace here. Don't go over his face. Trace here, and then we're going to move to this side. And we're going to make another diagonal line from here to here, and from here to here, so that we have our circle divided up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts that are about the same size each. Alright, now it's time for part 2. So it's okay if you haven't finished outlining your lion yet, but as soon as you're at this stage where everything is outlined, you're ready to start doing our color wheel. So we're going to start with our primary colors. You're only going to need 3 colors. You're going to need red, yellow, and blue, because red, yellow, and blue are our primary colors. These colors are used to mix every other color. Isn't that cool? But today we're just going to find out what happens when you mix the two. So we're going to start by putting our primary colors into our color wheel dot. So we're going to start with my red. If you don't have markers at home, it's okay. You can use crayons or colored pencils for this too. I'm going to get my red marker, and I'm going to take this space right here, and I'm going to color in this space with my red marker. Alright, so that's my red marker. Notice that I colored evenly, I didn't scribble, and I filled up the whole box inside my lines with the red. So everyone get their red, and we're going to color with the red. Now we are going to put in our yellow. So everyone find their yellow. And this time I'm going to skip a space from the red. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to skip and leave this one white and go to the next space. So we're going to take their finger, put it on red, go one over until you're in white, and then go one more with your finger. And this one's the one that we're going to do yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and do my yellow space. Practicing coloring in the whole space when we do our primary colors. I'm going to close the lid on my marker and put it back. Now we're going to get the third primary color, which is blue. So everyone get their blue marker. We're going to take the lid off the marker, put it on the back so we don't lose it. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our finger onto the yellow. We're going to go over one space, and that's the space we're leaving white. And then skip again, and this is the space that we're doing blue. So I'm going to leave my finger on it, put a little blue dot to remind myself that I'm doing the blue space. Now I'm going to like to outline the outside of mine first when I'm coloring in with markers, just like this. And there we have our primary colors. We're going to need our markers, same ones. We're going to need a paintbrush and a little bit of water, but not very much. Right, so let's get started. We're going to be coloring these in a little bit different this time. This time we're going to do the red and yellow, because we know we're going to mix these two together here. So whenever you're mixing two colors, you always start with the lightest color. So since yellow is lighter than red, we're going to start with yellow, and we're going to put in some yellow into this space right here. And when I'm doing it, I'm not going to worry about filling in every space this time. We're just going to do most of it with our yellow. And now we're going to take our red marker and we're going to put some red lines on top of our yellow here. Now, I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to take a little of my brush and dip it in with a little bit of water. You don't need very much. Notice I'm dipping it in my little water, but I'm making sure that I don't have too much on my brush. And I'm just going to use it and turn my markers into paint. Kind of. We're going to kind of blend our colors together. And then when it dries, we'll see that we have changed our color. And you will see that our color is turning orange. We're going to do yellow and blue. Okay? We're going to start with our yellow first because yellow is the lightest color. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in my yellow. Now if you aren't using markers for this one and you're using crayons, you won't be able to add water to paint, and that's okay. You can just use your two colors and color them together until they look like the color you're wanting them to. Let's say you had a blue and a yellow crayon. You would color them on top of each other until they started looking kind of green and blended together. The same if you're using colored pencils. Or you might have a set of watercolors at home and you can do this with watercolor paint. But I chose to do this with our water and marker method because not everyone has watercolors right now. Alright, so we put our yellow in, so now I'm going to put in my blue. And I'm going to start putting blue in. I'm going to do some stripes. And you can already see, without doing much blending, that we are getting green. This one works one of the best. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to come in, get my paintbrush, get a little of my sticky water, and start blending. You don't need a whole lot of water, but the green really works the best. Look how quickly that became green. And we mix those two colors together. Red and blue. This one's the hardest to do when you mix because the the blue is so dark, it's hard to make it become purple, but we're going to give it a try. I'm going to go with red first because I think red and blue are kind of similar in darkness and lightness, but I'm going to go with red first. A little light there. Now I'm going to put my blue in. I'm going to do kind of little stripes so that I have room to mix here. Right. Now I'm going to go get my paintbrush, a little water here, and we're going to try to make some purple. It's going to be a very dark purple, because they're both very dark colors. I'm so excited to see what you guys do with them. So now, for fun, I want everybody to pick a different color to color in your background and decorate your background with some more fun lines. So I'm going to do a fast forward for decorating background.